All right, fine.
Every time. Instantly.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Kepner of Global Social Media Marketing, and today we're going to be talking about how to use Calendly appointment scheduling in order to schedule your appointments from your online website, or also provide easy booking schedulings to meet with you via email.
Every time. Instantly.
I want to kind of run through exactly how I'm using this as a CEO of a social media company, how I'm using it with potential free phone call consultations and some of our lead generation funnels and our landing pages of our website, as well as talking about how I exchange this either through LinkedIn messages or emails or set weekly call team meetings. So if I wanted to create a new event in Calendly, once I've signed up, we've got the pro version here. We would just click on new event type. And then from there, we would select if we're going to be doing the meeting with one-on-one or with group. I've already got an example pulled up for today's training on an example that I have on our landing page of how I'm setting up free phone call consultations. So we're going to go ahead and click into this just to show you how that looks on our end, right? Let's say on your website, you've got a landing page where you're sending targeted traffic for a value offer or a free giveaway or an ebook or something like this. You can see as this page, we're offering our YouTube marketing mastermind program. We've got our pain points here is a picture of me, and then we're offering a free phone call consultation, right? So if we click on that, on our website, the way that we've got this funnel set up is we've got it hooked to a form. So let's say I'm filling this in, right? So we'll just use my name, my email. For the video, we'll type in our company and then the CAPTCHA so that we're not getting any spam form fills. And then right after we schedule that, right? So we've gone from a thank you page into a form fill. Now we're on our Calendly, right? So this is what it looks like if I'm a consumer and I'm trying to set a phone call consultation with Global Social Media Marketing into learning how I can join their YouTube Mastermind program. And you can see, please click a date and select the time that works best for them. So now we can go in and we can schedule that in Calendly, right? So I want to show you how I have that set up in Calendly. If we go into Calendly and you've got a pro account, you can first start with what is the event name. So we're going to title it a GSMM free phone call consultation. You can also add a location. So for example, we could offer like to meet at a physical location. Right now, this is not a really good option during the coronavirus pandemic. So we're going to be offering video conferencing instead. I've also realized in my sales reach outs that people do react better through seeing people on a video versus seeing them on a phone call. We use all of the G Suite products. So we're going to be using Google Hangouts or Google Meet for this. So as soon as they book a call, they'll get a Google Calendar invite that includes a Google Meet URL link. And I'll show you that here in an example. You also want to give a description of what the scheduled appointment is for. So our description is it's going to be a free phone call consultation, and then give it an event link, right? I would recommend keeping this short and sweet so that you can use this either in your social media posts later on, or if you're doing it in email, or if you even want to have it in your email signature, it's another good option. Finally, the last thing is color. I like to color code based upon like how I think of it visually for importance. So I think of like green maybe potentially as like a money making opportunity. Maybe red for me is something like training our team or something like that. And then maybe like blue is like neutral. So I'll choose green so that I know that this is a money making opportunity. Then we'll click save and close. Next thing we'll move on to is when people can book this event. I normally for like a free phone consultation in my experience, I think 15 minutes is great to think that you're going to have a call last that long, but normally my experience is going to be 30 minutes to 60 minutes. I like to set a cap at 30 minutes because I don't think it's maybe necessarily in an introductory phone call when we're doing a consultation for me to take that much time.
Not just some of the time. Instantly.
Right? I can pretty much decide like if the lead's qualified for me as a social media company or not and learn about their business in 30 minutes. And I can also give them some free tips too by, letting them know here's some things you can do without me. And then just kind of giving them that urgency, right? Like, hey, all right, well, we're at 30 minutes now. If you want to work with me further, I can shoot you over a proposal and we can move forward working together. But at this time, I can't provide any more free advice. It's really an introductory call, discovery call. Let me learn about how I can help you and give you at least a few free tips of knowledge for good networking. Next thing we can do is we can do the date range, right? So we can kind of limit like how long out they want to book in our calendar. I was doing this indefinitely, but most recently I've realized it's probably better to do like a date range. Now, if you were like a doctor or a dentist or a lawyer where you're going to be really busy, it might make sense to have it out like months in advance. But let's say we're driving like targeted traffic to a landing page. Those people are normally like ready to buy, or they're ready in that phase to at least set up a phone call for like a demo or a consultation. So they want that ready normally like right away. So I like to kind of limit that, right? It gives that sense of urgency again. So like instead of maybe doing like a date range, I could also do like days. So what I like to do is I like to kind of do like 14 days, right? That gives them 2 weeks out. I know some people are traveling, they might be in countries for months at a time, but if they get on my landing page, they fill out a form and now they're going into my Calendly link, I'm going to just assume that they're, looking to make action sooner than later. And then that also kind of like lets them know like, hey, like I have availability for these 2 next weeks, so you better book this while you have the chance now. The next thing after I've kind of set up those different things is I'd be looking at the time zone, right? So I'm based in Denver, Colorado. So the nice thing there is I can set my time zone for mountain time. But then if somebody books in my Google Calendar, when they book it, it will actually show their time. So if I had somebody book in Atlanta, they would see Eastern versus seeing my time, which is nice. I don't have to go back and forth and email people on when to do that, right? Or ask what time zone they're in. That's already automatically done. They've got my hours next, right? So, thinking about like your time as an asset, right? Something that is really important, I think, when you're thinking about how to best leverage booking appointments, especially for like lead generation phone calls, is like maybe doing set periods where you're saying like, this is the time I'm going to set for sales, right? So if you keep it open like this, you may end up getting too many bookings that you can handle, right?
Every time. Instantly.
Thinking strategically, maybe a good set number is something like 4 or 5 calls. That's what I've noticed in the day. After I've had 5 phone calls with, different companies or leads, I start to kind of not have enough time to process the meetings and actually have good follow-ups. So maybe something that might work well, right, is doing something like intervals. So maybe I decide like on Mondays, I'm going to do sales from like 10 to 11, and then I want to do another interval from maybe like 2 to 5, right? That way I can give myself maybe some time for lunch, have some time to do some follow-up, check in with my team members if I need to, or also do clients, right? So then we can kind of apply that. If we were doing this indefinitely, right, it would have those filtered for all of the Monday. We can also kind of like, put ourselves as unavailable. So you can kind of see in my calendar, right? For example, on like Saturdays. So I'm going to be unavailable, but you've got the rest of my calendar here. If we click into more of the advanced settings, this is really what is going to prevent you from missing meetings or having other people miss meetings and make
Every time. Instantly.
increments. So when you're setting the frequency of the available time slots, right? If I've put, for example, from like 11 to 2, it might be a good idea to do things like every 30 minutes, you can book a meeting with me, right? That way you've got a specific slot. I also mentioned like, setting the number of meetings in a day. Obviously, if you're a sales guy and that's all you do is sales all day, every day, you can definitely handle more than 4 appointments. But if you're a CEO like me, business owner, your time might be urgent or pressed. So you might want to kind of limit that. So I use like 4 in a day. I think that's pretty good, especially for like my leads or if I've got other current client meetings or meetings with our team. Minimum scheduling notice, right? That's just more of like saying, I need 24 hours notice before you schedule a meeting with me. I use that as the best practice because number one, I could be traveling. Number two, something personal in your life could happen in any given day. And then number three, giving me 24 hours to prepare for that meeting really allows me to do what we call pre-sales call lead qualification, where I'm actually taking some time to research the potential lead and know some information about them before I just hop into a call and waste anyone's time, right? I've actually researched their company and see if they're at least got the budget or a good fit for me. We'll talk about those qualifying questions here in a second. And then the other last final thing I like to do is I like to send at least like a 10 to 15 minute buffer, right? And that's just saying like if my meeting ends, I've got at least 15 minutes until my next one so that I don't double book or go over, right? We all know that some meetings go over or some take longer. So I like to leave those little buffers. And then final thing here is, hiding the event. So you have a main Calendly page, right, that will show all of your Calendly events. But let's say, for example, I've got an event like this where I'm giving a free phone call consultation, and I only want people to see that have gone to the landing page and filled out a form. It might make sense to hide that event so that no one publicly can see that unless you've gotten to that point in the cycle. So then we're going to click save and close. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of have some additional questions, right? So this is a really good option in Calendly to kind of pre-qualify leads, so you're not wasting people's time, and you know that the leads that are booking your calendar are quality. So I always like to start, obviously, with like name and email.
Not just sound of a kind, instantly.
Just for anyone else out there that's going to take this video and maybe run social media campaigns, best practice there might be using something like first name and then last name, because you can use that data, for example, in like a Facebook customer list or Google Analytics custom list. They want it by first name, last name. So using that instead of having to use another tool to separate it out. I also might want to add in their phone number, right? You don't see any phone number in here. So let's just say that I want to go ahead and edit this. I can just do add new question. And then let's just say I have the question as phone number. I can have that answer in like a one line, meaning it's a one short answer. I can have multiple lines where it's multiple answers. I can do radio buttons where it's like a multiple choice and they can select. I can do check boxes. Let's say, for example, if they had multiple things that they needed to tell me. And then there's also the phone number option, which I can apply. And now it will actually go in and put like the area code there. So I like to put that in there too, right? Some people are maybe booking calls with us that are in their late 40s or early 50s sometimes. So they're not really as well known in the virtual conferencing. I know Zoom is really popular, but maybe you don't know Google Hangouts. That's what we're using. So I like to put the phone number in there just as kind of like a backup. Some people like talking on the phone too. So that's another option if they don't make the call. I've found that works really well. Another thing you might want to ask in, like, for example, if you're in sales is, what industry are you in? I like knowing that, for example, if I'm selling for like a nonprofit versus like a, major enterprise client, I know that those budgets are going to be different. I know that those industries function different. And that might actually also help me a little bit in being able to be more customized for the sales call or the lead call. I also like to kind of ask them, like, how did you hear about us? Like, did you see on our Facebook page? Did you see a YouTube ad, or did you search Google organically? What did you search? So I kind of give them those options, right? These are the different types of answer checkboxes that you can do if you've maybe seen multiple of them. I kind of then, for us, like to customize it for what are the services? Like, are you looking for social media marketing services in Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever it could be? Monthly budget is probably one of the most important things that I recently just put in for our company. I would highly recommend for anyone doing lead generation campaigns. There's really no point in scheduling a call with someone if they don't have a budget to begin with, right? For us, we want to kind of maybe set a limit there. So this might be a good option too. Like, instead of just having it generic of like, what's your monthly budget? Maybe I turn it into something like radio buttons, right? And I say like a budget of like 1K to 2K and a budget of like 2K to 4K, and then maybe say something like 5K plus, right? That'll also kind of have me understand maybe how serious they are about solving their problem. And then if they don't even have this option, right, then they're already going to know maybe that I'm saying, hey, we don't do that as a company. We don't work with people under 1K because it's going to take us those amount of hours plus everything else we have to do just to create the campaigns and do the tracking. So that's a really good approach for kind of having a nice little qualifier buffer. And then also I might, if this was like, if I was just using this, if I didn't have a form like I did prior, I might add like the company website so I could go check them out, right? Something that I know that's really important for us is like understanding, do they have a Facebook pixel installed? Do they have a Google Analytics code? I need to see their website. Other beneficial things for that, like from a sales qualifier standpoint, is like, are you a new business? Are you a startup? If you have a website, that's great. You already have like a presence. So then I'll click save and close. Then I'll move on to notifications and cancellation policy. I can actually give them calendar invitations, which is what I've done, sending it to their Google account or their or Office 365. So they'll get a calendar invite. They can actually decline that too if they need to change or they don't like that. I can also do an email reminder. Best practice here is I can use like pretty much the same things that they already have in place. I have seen some people try to customize these things. And then I can just kind of, I think the best practice for me here is like, same thing when you go to the doctor, right? Like I like to set a 24 hours before reminder via email. And then what I like to do after that is I like to do a text reminder. So now I'm hitting them on 2 touch points. So, I like to hit them with like a 24 hours before email reminder. And then I hit them with another text reminder that's 1 hour before. And that just really kind of like lets them know, like, hey, I'm just reminding you about the event. You've seen this on phone and email, so that like if you need to cancel or you need to like, change your calendar or not forget about this meeting that you booked with me, I'm giving you that reminder. So I'm giving you that option to let me know if you need to change, right? So once I've kind of set up those reminders, I can then take them to a confirmation page. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second, or I can do a redirect to an external site. This might be something really good to do. For example, if you don't have a form on your page and they click on the button, you could send them directly to your Calendly, and then you could send them to a confirmation page after. So you could track, for example, in Google Analytics tracking goal, or you could do something like, I don't know, for example, send them to your YouTube channel and have them subscribe to your YouTube, right? That's a really soft touch point. I'm driving another marketing action. Another pro tip that I've seen recently is you could create a video that actually welcomes them to the call. Something like that comes across as really personalized. It adds more value to them. And for us, it's driving another marketing, connection. Now I'm able to, in this example, I've connected with them via phone, email, Google Hangouts, our website, and now our YouTube, right? So the more communication touch points that we have with our customers and leads, the more we're increasing that consumer buying experience and really delivering customer service. For today's example, I'm just going to show display Calendly confirmation page, so I can show you what that looks like. And then I could add a custom link as well too, but we're just going to leave that and do save and close. And then finally, the last thing would be if I was an e-commerce product. Let's say, for example, I was booking a course or something like that, or buying something. I can actually collect payments through this. Let's say I've gone through this YouTube confirmation page, and I'm like, wow, I really want YouTube as a restaurant owner. And I want Facebook. I've got Benjamin's calendar. Okay, I've got these next 2 open. Let's do 2 o'clock, right? And now you can see all the questions. If I just kind of zoom this in for you guys a little bit, that I have in that qualifying question, right? So here's my name, there's my email. If I want to add guests too, let's say I want to have my wife or my other team member, I could add them. I could put in my industry. So I'm a restaurant and I heard about Benjamin on the internet on the great googly way that he does. Services I'm interested in. I'm interested in Facebook and YouTube. My monthly budget is probably around like 1K per month. And I'll give you my text reminder is 770-365-5550. And so now I can schedule that event. I've scheduled that event with Benjamin, right? It's confirmed. There it is. I can see that it comes in on my end, right? If I book this, this is saying this is the event and this is the meeting. If I'm getting the leads, this is what I'm seeing, right? So Benjamin Scott Kepner, the email, the phone number, the date, the description, and then right here is actually where the Google Hangouts web conference is. So I can click in, and when that meeting, hey, there I am. I can kind of just jump in, and then here I am now on the call, and I can join now, right? So this is a really cool way of like being personalized in the call and kind of moving them down that path. And now if I go into my calendar, right, and I look for Wednesday, May 6th, I'll actually see that automatically populated in my calendar. There it is right there, Benjamin Scott Kepner with Benjamin Kepner, free phone call consultation, and then I can click into my video conference link, right? I like it because it's really easy to embed into your websites. And then, what are some other use cases that you can use Calendly for, right? I just showed you an example. For example, if you're doing like a free phone call consultation, and you're trying to book leads through appointments and qualify them and close them into sales. I also just have like a generic, right, like call with me. Really good tip there is like going into your Calendly link, right, and just kind of copying that guy. And then that might be really something nice to just kind of shoot over in an email to somebody like, hey, Benjamin, I'm trying to schedule a call with you. Like, okay, hey, Benjamin, here is my calendar, Calendly, for you to schedule a call with me. And I can just kind of put that in, right? And shoot that away on email. So there's the email, right? I've just sent it to me again. And now if I was receiving that email, I've got direct access to a call with Benjamin, and I can see his availabilities and book there, right? So that's another really good use case. One thing that I'm going to be implementing for our company in the month of May is I'm going to be trying to implement more of like GSMM team calls, right? So that I can let my team know, hey guys, I'm available at these times. Book your weekly calls with me so we can check in with your projects. That way I can kind of like segment these out, right? Some cool integrations that you might use these through might even be in your ads, right? So like social media ads. You could also run this through ManyChat, which is a chatbot solution that we use. So if you're running a messenger campaign and you wanted them to schedule a call through that, you can do that too. We've even used this in Instagram DMs where we're trying to book me in potential podcast opportunities. And I think it's just about, being really smart with your time as a business owner or as a salesperson so that you can block out automated times. And please like and subscribe our video. I hope this has been helpful to save you time, not just some of the time,